As the storm threatens to tear apart their community fair, Bensoda's family, once divided by greed and betrayal, must come together in a last-ditch effort to save the event. Amid the chaos, memories of their father's unwavering love and resilience ignite a powerful transformation. With unity and determination, they battle the elements, learning that the true wealth their father wanted for them wasn't in material possessions, but in the love they shared. In a breathtaking moment of clarity, they find that the storm, like their struggles, will pass, leaving behind something far more beautiful than they could have ever imagined. Bensoda's final wishes hanging heavy in the air, the family faced the grim reality of their greed. Benbella sat alone in the dim light of the living room, the weight of anger pressing down on his chest like a stone. He clenched his fists, replaying every argument, every accusation that had erupted since the reading of the will. Deep down, however, the flicker of guilt began to stir. He realized he had lost his weight, blinded by desire for wealth that would never truly fill the emptiness inside him. Across the room, Rema and Binta stood in silence, their faces pale and drawn. The regret etched into their features was unmistakable. Rema felt her heart ache as she reflected on the bitter words she had exchanged with her sister, each cutting deeper than the last. Binta, too, understood that their scheming had only driven a wedge between them. Their father had wanted unity, but they had chosen division. The realization hit them hard, like a wave crashing against the shore, washing away the illusions they had built around their ambitions. "Is this what we've become?" Rema whispered, her voice trembling. "Fighting over money instead of supporting each other." Binta looked at her sister, tears glistening in her eyes. "We let greed blind us," she admitted, her voice thick with emotion. "I thought I was protecting our future, but I've only created a bigger mess." As they shared this moment of vulnerability, the tension in the room began to shift. Benbella, hearing their conversation, felt a pang of longing for the family bond they had once shared. "Maybe we can fix this," he said hesitantly, taking a step closer. "Maybe we can honor Dad's wishes by coming together." His voice was quiet but filled with a newfound resolve. Rema and Binta exchanged hopeful glances, their hearts lifting at the possibility. "We need to apologize," Rema suggested, her eyes shining with determination. "We need to stop fighting and start healing." Binta nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. "Let's talk to everyone. We can't let our father's legacy be just about money." With a shared purpose, the three siblings ventured into the chaos of their family. They found their siblings still arguing, voices raised in anger and frustration. Rema took a deep breath and stepped forward, calling for attention. "Listen, everyone. We've let greed tear us apart. This isn't what Bensoda wanted." The room fell silent, and all eyes turned toward her. "We need to come together and remember our father for who he was," she continued, her voice steady. "He taught us to love each other, to support one another. Let's honor his memory instead of fighting over what he left behind." As she spoke, a hush fell over the family. Benbella and Binta stood by her side, nodding in agreement. One by one, family members began to reflect on their actions, and the tension in the room shifted. The air thick with regret started to feel lighter, as if the weight of their choices was beginning to lift. "Maybe it's time to put aside our differences and focus on what really matters," Binta added softly. "We can find ways to give back to the community, just like Dad wanted." A murmur of agreement rippled through the family, the hope slowly replacing anger. In that moment, amidst the shadows of their past, the seeds of reconciliation began to take root. The road ahead would be long and challenging, but together, they could begin to mend what had been broken. The consequences of their actions loomed large, but perhaps, just perhaps, they could turn this moment of despair into a new beginning. After the will was read, a heavy silence enveloped the room, thick with unspoken emotions and lingering resentment. The weight of Bensoda's final wishes hung over them, an echo of their father's love clashing with their greed. Rema, her heart pounding, finally broke the silence. "He wanted us to love each other," she said softly, her voice trembling yet resolute. As those words hung in the air, the atmosphere shifted. The initial shock of the will began to fade, replaced by a wave of reflection. Benbella, still grappling with anger, glanced at his siblings. He could see the pain in their eyes, the same pain he felt in his own heart. He took a deep breath, the tension in his chest easing slightly. "We've wasted so much time fighting," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "Dad wouldn't have wanted this." Binta nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "I felt so lost," she confessed, her voice cracking. "I thought money would bring us happiness, but it's only pushed us apart. I miss how we used to be." The vulnerability in her words opened a floodgate, allowing the others to express their struggles too. One by one, they began to share their fears and insecurities. Rema spoke of her loneliness, how she had buried herself in distractions to avoid facing the growing divide within the family. Benbella revealed his deep-rooted fear of failure, his anger a mask for the shame he felt about not living up to their father's legacy. Binta expressed her sadness over the broken trust among them, the heavy burden of feeling inadequate. As they spoke, the raw honesty between them began to heal old wounds. The anger that once divided them slowly melted away, replaced by understanding and empathy. Benbella reached out to Binta, squeezing her hand. "We are all struggling in our own ways," he said, his voice steady. "Maybe we need to face these challenges together instead of fighting." Rema felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. "What if we create something in Dad's name?" she proposed, excitement tinging her voice. "A community project that honors his spirit and brings us back together." Her suggestion sparked a glimmer of enthusiasm among the siblings. "We could start a charity," Binta suggested, her eyes lighting up. "One that helps families in need, just like ours. It would remind us of what truly matters." Benbella's face brightened with newfound purpose. "Yes. We could involve the community and even organize events to raise funds. It'll be a way to bring people together and remind us of our father's generosity." The idea of working toward a common goal infused the room with energy. The siblings exchanged hopeful glances, their earlier conflicts seeming to fade into the background. A sense of unity began to form, a bond that felt stronger than the greed that had previously consumed them. As they brainstormed ideas for their project, laughter began to break through the tension. They reminisced about their father's quirks, how he always made everyone laugh, how he had a knack for turning simple gatherings into joyful celebrations. Each story shared became a thread, weaving them back together as a family. In that moment, Rema realized that the journey toward healing would take time, but they had taken the first crucial steps. "We've been through so much," she said, her voice filled with conviction. "But if we stand together, we can honor Dad's memory in a way that truly matters." As they continued to discuss their plans, the room filled with an overwhelming sense of hope and determination. They were ready to face their past mistakes and forge a new path. The darkness of their previous conflicts began to lift, and for the first time in a long while, they felt the warmth of love and unity returning. In this moment of shared understanding, they embraced their father's legacy, not as a source of wealth or conflict but as a reminder of the love that had always been at the heart of their family. And with that realization, they stepped into a new beginning, one filled with promise and the strength to rebuild what had been lost. With renewed purpose, the family gathered one bright Saturday morning, ready to embark on their first day of volunteering at the local charity. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow on their faces, but there was a nervous energy buzzing in the air. Rema felt a mix of excitement and anxiety, unsure of how their first day would unfold. Would this be enough to heal the wounds that had marred their family? As they arrived at the charity, the humble building with peeling paint and a welcoming sign, they were greeted by the director, a kind woman named Mama Sidi. Her warm smile instantly eased their apprehensions. "Welcome. We are so glad to have you all here. Together, we can make a difference," she said, her voice full of encouragement. They were quickly assigned tasks. Benbella and Binta headed to the kitchen, where they were to prepare meals for families in need. As they chopped vegetables, the rhythm of their work became a soothing balm, allowing them to share light-hearted banter. Benbella tossed a piece of carrot at Binta, who laughed and retaliated with a handful of flour. Their laughter echoed in the kitchen, a reminder of the bond they once shared, now reignited. Meanwhile, Rema and Osman sorted through clothes donations in another room. The piles were vast, filled with gently used items waiting for new homes. As Rema picked up a beautiful dress, she imagined who might wear it next. This could mean the world to someone, she said, her heart swelling with empathy. Osman nodded, his expression thoughtful. Dad would have loved this, he replied, his voice softening. He always believed in giving back. As they walked, the initial awkwardness began to fade. They shared stories about their father, recounting memories that filled the air with laughter and bittersweet nostalgia. Each story acted as a thread, weaving them back into the family fabric that greed had almost torn apart. But just as they began to feel the joy of reconnecting, the reality of their previous conflicts crept back in. During a break, the siblings gathered outside, sipping cool drinks under the shade of a large tree. The atmosphere felt lighter, but attention lingered beneath the surface. Binta spoke up, her voice wavering. I know we're trying to move forward, but I still feel the weight of everything we went through. What if this doesn't last? Benbella clenched his fist, frustration bubbling to the surface. We can't keep dwelling on the past. We're here now, and we have to make it work. If we allow ourselves to slip back into old habits, it'll be over before it starts, he snapped, his eyes flashing with anger. Rema intervened, sensing the brewing conflict. Benbella, we're all feeling vulnerable. We need to support each other. Remember why we're here. She paused, looking around at her siblings. We are not just honoring Dad's memory, we are building something new together. Just then, Mama Sidi approached, sensing the tension. I understand this journey is difficult, but helping others can often heal our own wounds. Focus on the smiles you create today, she said gently, her wisdom cutting through the air like a soothing balm. Her words lingered in their minds, and slowly, the siblings began to soften. They returned to their tasks with renewed determination, channeling their energy into the work at hand. With every meal they prepared and every article of clothing they organized, they began to understand the true meaning of family and community. By the end of the day, as they gathered to see the fruits of their labor, they felt a sense of fulfillment that had been missing for so long. The smiles on the faces of the families receiving their help filled their hearts with warmth. They realized that through giving, they had not only honored their father's memory but had also begun to heal their own hearts. As they left the charity, the sun dipped low on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. They walked together, side by side, a united front filled with purpose. Though challenges lay ahead, they now had a shared mission, one that would continue to strengthen their bonds and remind them of the love that had always been at the core of their family. In helping others, they had helped themselves, igniting a spark of hope for a brighter, more united future. As the days turned into weeks, the family began to feel the warmth of renewed connection. Benbella, once consumed by anger and jealousy, found himself laughing more often. One afternoon, while they were organizing another charity event, he watched his siblings working together with genuine smiles. He felt a flicker of pride. Maybe we can actually do this, he thought, the weight of their past slowly lifting. Rema and Binta spent hours together in the kitchen, preparing meals for the needy. As they chopped vegetables, they reminisced about their childhood, recalling moments filled with laughter and mischief. Do you remember the time we tried to bake Dad's favorite cake and ended up setting off the smoke alarm? Rema chuckled, her eyes sparkling. Binta laughed heartily, the sound echoing in the warm kitchen. I thought we were going to get in so much trouble. Their shared laughter broke down the walls that had separated them for too long. Realizing that their bond was far more precious than any amount of money, they promised to support each other. I never want us to fight again, Binta said, her voice soft but firm. Rema nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. Me neither. Family is everything. Meanwhile, Benbella and Osman forged a new understanding. One evening, they sat on the porch watching the sunset. Benbella turned to Osman, hesitating. I've been a jerk. I let greed blind me. I'm sorry. Osman, surprised by his sincerity, placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. It's okay. We all lost our way. What matters now is that we are finding our path back together. The air felt different, lighter. Each sibling's heart swelled with hope as they saw glimpses of the love that had been buried beneath resentment and greed. They began to make plans for a charity project that would honor Bensoda's memory, something big, something that would not only help others but also strengthen their bond as a family. With excitement buzzing in the air, they met to brainstorm ideas. Benbella proposed organizing a community fair to raise funds for local families in need. "We can invite everyone, make it a celebration," he suggested, enthusiasm shining in his eyes. The rest of the family quickly jumped on board, their previous divisions forgotten in the face of a common goal. As they prepared for the fair, they spent late nights crafting decorations, planning activities, and even rehearsing performances. Their shared laughter filled the house, transforming it into a home once more. Each small task they completed was a building block, strengthening the foundation of their renewed family ties. On the day of the fair, the community came alive with joy. Benbella, Rema, Binta, and Osman walked side by side, their hearts united in purpose. As they watched the smiles of those they were helping, they felt an overwhelming sense of fulfillment. In that moment, surrounded by laughter and the spirit of giving, they realized the true wealth Bensoda had wanted for them was never in money, but in the love and support they shared. Their bond, once fragile and broken, was now unbreakable, fortified by shared purpose and a commitment to love one another above all else. The fair wasn't just a success, it marked the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, one where they would always choose each other, no matter the circumstances. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden light across the bustling fairground, Bensoda's family stood together, feeling a profound sense of peace. The laughter of children filled the air, mixing with the sweet scent of fresh food and the vibrant sounds of music. It was a celebration not just of their hard work, but of their renewed bond. Rema looked around, her heart swelling with gratitude. She spotted a group of children from the local community enjoying the games they had organized. "This is what it's all about," she whispered to Binta, who stood beside her, eyes shining. "Seeing them smile makes everything worthwhile." Binta nodded, a joyful tear escaping her eye. "We've turned our pain into something beautiful. Dad would be proud." Benbella, busy at the pie-eating contest, caught sight of them and waved, his mouth smeared with chocolate. He had never felt so carefree. "Come on, join us. You have to try this." His laughter was infectious, and soon, Rema and Binta found themselves swept into the excitement. They had come a long way from the days of distrust and greed, and the joy they felt now was a testament to their transformation. But the day wasn't without its challenges. As the sun began to set, a sudden storm cloud loomed overhead, threatening to disrupt their celebration. The wind picked up, and a few decorations flew away. Panic spread among the volunteers. "What if the storm ruins everything?" someone whispered, a fear creeping into the atmosphere. Benbella stepped forward, taking charge. "We can't let a little wind stop us. Let's work together to secure everything." His voice rang out with confidence, reminding everyone of the strength they had found in one another. Rema and Binta quickly joined him, rallying their siblings and volunteers to help. The chaotic energy transformed into determination. As they tied down tents and collected loose items, something incredible happened. The family members shared stories of their father, of how he had faced challenges with unwavering resolve. With each memory, they found strength in Bensoda's spirit. "Remember when he wouldn't give up on us, no matter how tough things got?" Binta recalled. The warmth of those memories fortified their hearts, pushing them to work even harder. Moments later, just as they secured the last tent, the storm passed, revealing a stunning rainbow arching across the sky. The sight took their breath away, and laughter erupted once again, mingling with sighs of relief. "See? Even the weather can't break us," Benbella exclaimed, grinning widely. As night fell, they lit lanterns around the fairground, creating a magical glow that felt almost ethereal. Families gathered to share food, play games, and connect. Bensoda's family moved among them, serving meals and offering help wherever they could. They had found their purpose, not just in honoring their father, but in making a difference in their community. When it was finally time to close the fair, they gathered around a large bonfire, its flickering light illuminating their faces. Rema, her heart full, spoke up. Today reminded me of what Dad always taught us, that happiness isn't found in money or possessions, but in the love we give and receive. Osman nodded, adding, and in the memories we create together. Ben Bella, now filled with emotion, looked at each of his family members, a renewed sense of unity surrounding them. I don't want this day to end. Let's promise to keep this spirit alive, to always support each other and our community. As they joined hands, an unbreakable bond forged through shared experiences. They knew this was just the beginning. Their journey toward healing had led them to a place where love reigned supreme, or where helping others brought true joy. Bensoda's legacy wasn't in the wealth he had built, but in the values he had instilled in them. Under the stars, Bensoda's family celebrated their new life together, hearts brimming with hope. They had discovered true happiness, a treasure far greater than any fortune, a family united in love, ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold. In that moment, they felt Bensoda's spirit watching over them, guiding them toward a brighter tomorrow, and they knew they would never lose sight of what truly mattered.